everyone! In this video, I'm going to be organizing some of my slime supplies as well as making a couple of slimes too. The slimes that I'm making are original ideas. I'm sure there are many similar ones out there, but I'm not copying anybody or trying to take credit. These are just some ideas that came to me. I don't have anything else to say, so let's go. To start out, I am gathering all of my cabochons into this tiny little box that I used to use for my Fimo slices until my collection grew too large for it. I also began to gather all of my glitter to put with the cabochons as well, and that's when Dot decided to interrupt. I was finding a bunch of loose cabochons, so I decided to put them into the bag of cabochons that they would most correspond with. I found a Halloween one, as well as a bunch of unicorn ones too. Most of the unicorn ones were extras that came with my orders from HappyKawaiiSupples, but I just gathered them all into one bag. These peppermint Fimo slices have been a wicked pain for me lately. They originally came in a non-resealable container. It was like a plastic envelope type thing that had to be torn open. So they've kind of just spilled all over the place, and now I'm putting them into this mini resealable bag. I found these little peppermint beads that came as extras from HappyKawaiiSupples as well. What was really weird about them was that they were actually sticky, like semi-melted peppermints. I did smell them to see if maybe they were loose candies, but I've never gotten loose candies from HappyKawaiiSupples before, so I doubted it. But again, just to be sure, I did give them a sniff test, and they're definitely not real, so I'm wondering how they're sticky. I also got this little resin candy charm. I put all of this into my Christmas cabochon bag and then moved on to organizing my Fimo slices. In case it wasn't obvious, I have a ton of Fimo slices. They're one of those things that if I see one that I like, even if I don't think I'm going to use it, I have to buy it anyway. Originally, I was just randomly but neatly putting them into the box, and then I decided I didn't like that, so I dumped it all out and decided to organize it seasonally. I started with the Valentine theme since that's the first holiday I really make slime for, so I took any heart or Valentine Fimo slices, and then I went with spring and took leaves, flowers, ladybugs, and Easter themed stuff, and then I moved on to more summer things like lemonade, watermelon slices, and pineapple rings. Next up was the Halloween bit of my collection, which was quite large, and I actually ended up forgetting to add some in. I had some regular autumn-colored sprinkles, some pumpkins, some eyeballs, some bats, and because apparently I didn't see the aliens or Ouija board theme mix, I went on to the Christmas stuff. These polar bear Fimos were almost impossible to find. I swear no one on Etsy has polar bear Fimo slices. As you can see, I have several different Christmas Fimo slices. My favorite are probably the penguins. And now I'm finally realizing that I didn't put this Ouija board sprinkle mix in with the Halloween section. Now I'm gathering what's left that don't really fall under any season. I have these little toast slices. I've never used them. These were one of those impulse buys I talked about earlier. I have these strawberry slices and these banana slices and more strawberries to go with them. I have these zodiac slices. I think I need to get more of these because I would love to make a zodiac slime for New Year's. It's probably hard to tell what these are, but they're supposed to be little black sesame seeds. My boyfriend said that when I put them in slime, they look more like fleas, and it's horrifying. I have this little random sprinkle mix. I think those came as a freebie. I have this Cookie Monster sprinkle mix. I really like these. I think they're cute. I actually used these in a slime that I made that I called Monster Cookie Crunch. I have another random freebie of rainbow sprinkles. These pesky peppermints that I'm now realizing I forgot to put in with the Christmas stuff. I also have this really cool cottagecore type theme. I thought it was really pretty. I never ended up using it. I have these random fruits. And I have this apple sprinkle mix that I think came with one of my Raspberry Slime Company slimes, but I never put them in because I thought the slime looked pretty or plain. And last but not least, I have these rainbow Fimo slices. In the sides of the box, I have the seasonal things, and in the center, I have the non-seasonals. I also have a few bags of glitter. I don't have a whole lot of it, but what I do have of it, I'm putting in with the cabochons. Now we're on to probably the most embarrassing part of this, which is going through all of the little clay charms that I made forever ago. I'm trying to go in order from ugliest to least ugly, so the most hideous one we have is this nutmeg. Next is this blueberry pancake. I guess it's not too bad, but I think I made the syrup way too thick, and I don't think the holes in the sides look good enough, so it doesn't look that realistic. I also have this very lazy butterscotch candy. Next is this nut muffin I tried to make. Again, it doesn't look too bad, but the detailing needs work. Here we have this horrible attempt at a cosmic brownie. I put liquid Sculpey on top of it to try and give the frosting a little bit of a glaze, and I made these horrible sprinkles that were way too big in proportion. Next is this crooked square of chocolate I tried to make. Nothing really special. Here we have this deformed pumpkin I tried to make. And here we have a strawberry. I really like the leaf details, but I'm not sure why I made the seeds so large, so I'll need to work on that. Next up is this s'more that I made. I'm actually really proud of this one. I really think that I did a good job on the details on the edges of the graham crackers, and I think I did a pretty good job with the holes on top of them too. My only critique really is that I think I should have flattened it out more and made the chocolate and especially the marshmallow more flat, but otherwise, yeah, I'm pretty proud of this one. I also really like the texture. Next is this apple that I made. I think I did a pretty good job, especially with the stem and the indentations around the stem on top of the apple. However, I'm not crazy about the flat bottom I gave it. So for the last of my freehand sculpting, and what I think is the best piece that I made, is this caramel apple. I'm not really sure why I like it so much, because the caramel going over it doesn't even look that good. Maybe it's the shimmery apple or the really realistic stick that I made, but regardless, I love it, and this is probably my favorite piece. And now for when I was practicing using molds. First is this mini Oreo. I made the mold for this myself out of air dry clay, so it was really hard to get the wet clay out of it, but I think it turned out okay. Some parts of the surface are more matte while others are more shiny. I'm not really sure why that happened, but I think this was a good practice run overall. Next is this mini dollop of whipped cream. I've actually used this mold in a previous video where I was decorating mini journals. And we have this scoop of mint chocolate chip ice cream. I just used neon green clay in an ice cream scoop mold, and I put some black glitter in it to look like the chocolate chips. Looking back, I definitely should have used little clay chocolate chips instead of glitter to make it look better. I also have this scoop of cookies and cream, and I did the same thing. I used black glitter, but with white clay in the ice cream scoop mold. I think this one looks much better. I think the flat bottoms kind of kill the illusion, but I can live with it. And lastly, we have this cupcake that I made. This mold is actually a 3-parter for the liner, the cupcake, and the frosting. And I remember when I first used this, I was so excited with how realistic it all looked, and I think I would like to go back to it and try and make different kinds of cupcake designs. I threw all those into a little resealable bag, and then I put those in with my cabochons. On to the slime making portion of the video. The first slime I'm making is going to be a strawberry shortcake slime. I actually already had this base made. It's just a regular white school glue slime that I added some pink coloring to, and this strawberry shortcake scent from HappyKawaiiSupples. It also has a tiny bit of clay in it because I practiced making the frosting top, but for the sake of the video, I'll do it again. I'm taking this white air dry clay that I bought from Narwhal Supplies on Etsy, who are sadly shutting down. I'm really sad about it. They were one of my favorite shops. And I'm pressing it down into the container lid just to get a nice round circular shape. I'm doing my best to smooth down the edges, and then I'm adding on some of these strawberry Fimo slices that we saw earlier while I was organizing all of my supplies. I tried to arrange them to make it look all cute and formal. The next slime I'm making is a clear slime, and oh my gosh, I can't stand making clear slime. I hate it so much, and I think with all of my complaining throughout my slime videos, I've made it pretty clear. I should start making more dad jokes.
No, let's not do that.
Anyway, I am dreadfully going through the process of attempting to activate this, and now I have to go in with my hands, and that is always the worst part because it takes forever and it's just very uncomfortably sticky.
One eternity later.
Once I have it to the proper consistency, I am putting it back into the container, and then I am adding in these frog Fimo slices. And I'm also adding in some of these leaves and these white flowers to kind of be like lily pads in a pond. In case it wasn't obvious, I'm going for a frog pond type of slime. Now I'm just mixing in all of the Fimos, then putting the slime back into the container, and once I have it closed, I'm actually going to flip it upside down. That way all of the air bubbles go to the bottom, so when you flip it back over, there's more clarity on top.
The next day.
I let it sit overnight, but at some point my genius self flipped it back right side up, so it kind of all sunk in after having been upside down for so long. But regardless, I think this was still a pretty cute idea. Normally, clear slimes are supposed to be given a few days to a week to clear up, so I think after it's settled for that long, it'll look even better. That's gonna do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and if you haven't already clicked subscribe, please do so. My current subscriber goal is 500, and it would mean the world to me if you could help me reach it. Thank you so much again for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!